For 400 years, historians blamed a Renaissance queen for a poison cabinet that may never have existed. This year, scientists finally solved a 400-year-old murder mystery involving her own family, using DNA. Tonight, the women accused of poisoning Renaissance Europe, the ones who actually did it, and the very fine line historians are still trying to draw between the two. Let's go back in time and see what happened. France, the 1560s. A foreign-born queen is trying to hold a fracturing kingdom together, and the rumors being spread about her will outlive her by centuries. Catherine de' Medici arrived in France in 1533, a 14-year-old bride from Florence, married into a royal family that never fully accepted her. She spent a decade unable to produce an heir, watched her husband openly favor his mistress, Diane de Poitiers, for the entirety of their marriage, and then, when he died in a freak jousting accident in 1559, found herself effectively ruling France as regent for the next 3 decades through a series of sons who couldn't manage the job themselves. The France she inherited was tearing itself apart over religion. Catholics and Protestant Huguenots locked in a civil war that would eventually kill hundreds of thousands of people. Catherine tried, at various points, both compromise and brutal force to hold the country together. Neither fully worked, and somewhere in that chaos, her legend curdled into something much darker than the record actually supports. By the time pamphleteers got through with her, Catherine de' Medici was said to keep a private cabinet at the Château de Blois. Over 300 hidden drawers, allegedly stocked with poisons for eliminating political enemies. She was said to command a group of beautiful ladies-in-waiting known as the Flying Squadron, deployed specifically to seduce powerful men and extract secrets. A group one hostile contemporary called, bluntly, a stable of whores. Here's what modern historians have found when they actually dug into the sources. Most of this material traces back to hostile political pamphlets, written largely by Huguenot writers with every reason to paint the Catholic Queen Regent as a foreign, poison-wielding sorceress. Catherine did keep an unusually large household of ladies-in-waiting, genuinely more than most French queens. And it's true that on at least one documented occasion, she used a lady-in-waiting's real romantic affair with a political rival to extract information after the fact. But the idea of Catherine systematically ordering her women into planned seductions has been increasingly identified by historians as a literary trope, not a documented practice. The same kind of defamation used against powerful women going back to antiquity. As for the poison cabinet at Blois, the drawers exist. You can still visit them today. What they were actually used for is far less certain than the legend suggests. A queen regent of France had plenty of legitimate reasons to keep documents, jewels, and correspondence under lock and key. The Cabinet of Horrors story took root centuries after her death and never really let go. None of this means Catherine de' Medici was innocent of everything associated with her name. She authorized real political violence, including her role in the 1572 St. Bartholomew's Day massacre, one of the bloodiest single events of the French Wars of Religion. But the specific reputation as history's great female poisoner appears to be, in large part, 4 centuries of unverified rumor treated as fact, which makes what happened to a different set of women in a different Italian court a useful contrast, because in their case, the poison was very real. Rome, the 1490s. If Catherine de' Medici's reputation was built by hostile pamphleteers a full generation after her death, our next woman didn't even get that long. Her legend as a poisoner started while she was still alive, and it was her own family that made her famous for it. Lucrezia Borgia was the daughter of Pope Alexander VI and sister to Cesare Borgia. A military commander so ruthless, he became the direct inspiration for Machiavelli's The Prince. Being born into that family was, on its own, enough to make her a target. Her father and brother were widely accused of using poison to eliminate cardinals, rivals, and inconvenient allies throughout their rise to power. Lucrezia, married off 3 times for political advantage before she turned 22, got folded into the same reputation almost by association. Legend named the Borgia's preferred weapon cantarella, supposedly a sweet white powder, said by one physician a full 2 centuries later to be a combination of arsenic and putrefied alkaloids extracted, according to his account, from a pig deliberately poisoned and hung by its hind legs. Whether cantarella actually existed in that form, no contemporary source can confirm. The recipe survives only in second-hand descriptions written well after the fact. Lucrezia's specific contribution to the myth was a poison ring, a hollow piece of jewelry supposedly fitted with a secret compartment, allowing her to slip cantarella into a rival's wine without anyone noticing. It's a wonderful image. It also has essentially no contemporary evidence behind it. Historians who've actually traced the claim find it emerging generations after her death, alongside equally unverified rumors of incest with her own father and brother, the kind of sexualized, sensationalized accusation routinely thrown at powerful women whose enemies wanted to destroy them without a trial. What actually happened to Lucrezia tells a very different story. Her third marriage, to Alfonso d'Este, heir to the Duchy of Ferrara, moved her out of Rome and away from her father and brother's politics entirely. In Ferrara, away from the Borgia name's worst associations, she became a genuinely respected duchess, a patron of the arts, an effective administrator, someone contemporaries described with admiration rather than fear. She died in 1519. Not from any poisoning plot, but from complications of childbirth, a far more mundane and far more common fate for women of her era. The poisoner legend outlived the real woman by centuries. Victor Hugo wrote an entire Gothic drama about her in 1833, cementing the murderous version in the popular imagination long after historians had already started questioning it. Florence, October 1587. Grand Duke Francesco I de' Medici and his second wife, Bianca Cappello, fall violently ill within days of each other at their country villa. Fever, vomiting, weakness. Francesco dies first. Bianca follows less than 24 hours later. Bianca had been Francesco's mistress for years before becoming his wife. A scandal in itself, since she'd been married to someone else when the affair began. Their marriage made her Grand Duchess of Tuscany, a position that infuriated Francesco's younger brother, Cardinal Ferdinando, who despised Bianca and stood to inherit the throne if Francesco died without a legitimate male heir. Ferdinando had visited the couple just before they fell ill. He had motive, opportunity, and, depending which historian you ask, a documented history of resenting his brother's marriage. For over 400 years, the rumor persisted. The cardinal poisoned them both, and inherited a dukedom by doing it. The official cause of death at the time was malarial fever, a plausible explanation since the villa sat near mosquito-heavy marshland and malaria was endemic to the region. But the story never fully died. In 2006, toxicologists examining Francesco's exhumed remains found arsenic levels that seemed to confirm the poisoning theory after all, reigniting a scientific debate that ran for another 2 decades. This part of the story is genuinely current. Just this year, in 2026, a team of researchers at Yale and the University of Pisa published a full genetic analysis of Francesco's remains and found clear molecular evidence of Plasmodium falciparum, the parasite responsible for the deadliest strain of malaria, along with signs of a severe malarial infection. His younger brother Giovanni, who died of confirmed malaria 25 years earlier near the same swampland, carried a related strain. The arsenic in the earlier tests, researchers now believe, most likely came from period embalming practices, not poison. 439 years after Bianca Cappello and her husband died within a day of each other, science finally cleared the man history had quietly convicted without a trial. Cardinal Ferdinando, it turns out, almost certainly didn't poison anyone. Mosquitoes did. If Catherine de' Medici was falsely accused and Cardinal Ferdinando was wrongly suspected, our final story is different. Because this poison, and the women who sold it, were absolutely real. In Sicily around 1630, a poison began circulating among women trapped in violent marriages with almost no legal way out. Divorce, in 17th century Italy, essentially didn't exist for them. What did exist was a colorless, tasteless concoction, likely arsenic-based, according to modern toxicological analysis, that killed slowly enough to mimic natural illness, giving a husband time to make arrangements, and giving no doctor of the era any reason to suspect murder. By the 1650s, the trade had moved to Rome, run by a woman named Giulia Tofana and a network of associates, including her own daughter. The poison was sold in small vials, labeled as Manna of St. Nicholas, marketed as a healing devotional oil, an act of remarkable audacity, disguising murder as piety. The operation unraveled in 1659 after a client, mid-poisoning, lost her nerve. She begged her husband not to eat the tainted soup, and he forced a confession out of her. Tofana fled to a church for sanctuary. A mob, convinced she'd poisoned the city's water supply, dragged her out anyway. Under torture, she confessed to a staggering number of deaths. Modern historians widely consider the 600 figure exaggerated, likely inflated by coerced testimony, though even conservative estimates suggest dozens of real victims. 5 of the network's core members were publicly hanged. Dozens of their lower-class clients were executed alongside them. Several aristocratic clients, meanwhile, were quietly spared at the Pope's discretion. A detail that tells you almost everything about how justice actually worked in 17th century Rome. Aqua Tofana's legend outlived every one of them by centuries. Over 100 years later, Mozart, dying of an illness no one could explain, reportedly told friends, "I am sure that I have been poisoned. I cannot rid myself of this idea. There's no real evidence Aqua Tofana killed him, but the fact that a composer, dying in 1791, immediately thought of a poison ring executed in 1659 tells you how deep that fear had settled into the court European imagination. For 400 years, historians blamed a Renaissance queen for a poison cabinet that may never have existed. This year, scientists finally solved a 400-year-old murder mystery involving her own family, using DNA. Tonight, the women accused of poisoning Renaissance Europe, the ones who actually did it, and the very fine line historians are still trying to draw between the two. 4 women, 4 completely different relationships to the truth. Catherine de' Medici blamed for a poison cabinet she almost certainly never used. Lucrezia Borgia, whose own family's brutal reputation swallowed her whole, then let her go the moment she got far enough away from Rome. Bianca Cappello, whose death took science 4 centuries and a DNA lab to finally explain, and Giulia Tofana, whose poison was devastatingly, undeniably real, sold to women who had no other way out of the lives they'd been trapped in. The line between legend and fact in this period is thinner than you'd think, and sometimes, as we just saw this year, it takes 400 years and a genome sequencer to finally settle it. Tell me which of these 4 stories you'd never heard before. And if you want the deep dive on any of them, you already know what to do, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.